Hi everybody, how's it going? Thanks for watching. Just looking at some calves here this morning. Got some big news, a big change I wanted to share with you guys, but just wanted to look at some calves here to see who needs bedding here this morning. We just cleaned these pens here 3 days ago. I moved calves out of our calf barn into these first 5 pens here 2 days ago. Looks like they are ready for a little bit of bedding. It's been maybe a little bit since I've shown you guys these calves. Overall been pretty satisfied with how things are going here in the groups. If you've been following along, or if you remember, I'd mentioned when we got started in here that we had some calves that were sucking on each other, and we still have the occasional one, but definitely has been a lot less here the last few months. Not really sure what that's all down to, but definitely had more of that to start than we do here now. I don't see any with a nose ring here right now, and our guys are usually pretty good. If they see heifers sucking on each other, they're pretty good at putting nose rings in. The only thing we have to try to figure out here is that the calves like to knock some of the feed out of the troughs here when they're eating, so we almost need like a backstop or something on there. I mean, it's not terrible, but there is, well, you can see that there's some feed on the floor here by all the troughs. Yeah, they're definitely ready for some bedding here. Overall, calves look pretty good. As far as how they're gaining, how they're doing weight-wise, that hasn't really changed any. We're still hitting that 300 pounds by 100 days old. Been a little over here, a little over that here actually even, but not a significant or noticeable change from when we were in hutches before, individual hutches, to in groups here. So haven't gained any, but haven't lost any either, which is kind of what I didn't want to. My main concern was that we would lose some weight gain by them being in groups of 6 here together. That has not been the case. We'll walk over to the calf barn there. Christian was cleaning with the pressure washer in there. I think he finished that up. We can probably put straw in those empty pens there today. I'm gonna go check that out. In the calf barn here now. Calves are ready for milk. They'll be coming with milk here in about 15 minutes. Just move this line out here to those group pens. Christian finished cleaning this with the pressure washer yesterday, so we'll put straw back in here today. We're not quite to the end of this line here. Looks like probably another weekish or so, and then we'll be loading calves on this side again. Keeping a couple beef calves back for ourselves here. Looks like these girls can probably use some bedding too. Works out good to check these pens are just before they're coming with milk, because then all the calves are up and standing and you can get a good look at the calves right away and see if any of them aren't doing good. I don't know if you watched the last video, we finished up the sorghum baleage, and then shortly after we started cutting our alfalfa, third cutting. Just wrapped that up here, just hauled the last load of alfalfa bales here this morning. Doing the same thing with the alfalfa that we did with the sorghum, putting it in piles and covering it with plastic. We just have the one, put in several piles. We've got the one pile just to finish up here this morning. Was a little short plastic on this last pile, so there was about one load that we couldn't fit, so we have to cut short piece of plastic to get this last load tucked underneath the plastic. We'll get that closed up and then get some tires on top of it. We're going to be doing that here this morning around 9:30, 10 o'clock probably. I've got a meeting at 8, which works out fine because our guys need to finish feeding calves and doing some of the things they do in the morning, and then we'll get that done shortly afterwards. In our heifer barn here now. Just gave these heifers pellets here 15 minutes ago or so. My dad just came through here with a skid steer. He's dividing feed out a little bit in some of these pens. Usually does that in the morning after pushing up feed. Try to make sure that all these heifers have and all these calves have feed until we come through and feed them here just before our lunchtime. And try to get the feed fed up also. There are a few pretty exciting things that I wanted to tell you guys about. The biggest one, or for me at least the biggest one anyways, we've got some things going on at Cows & Co. also at my sister and brother-in-law's creamery. I'd like to try to get over there if I can here yet today to get that in the video, otherwise it might have to be another day. But the probably the biggest change on our farm in 15 years since we started milking cows here. We changed creameries here. By the time you guys see this, we'll be about 2-3 weeks into shipping to Bongards in Perham, Minnesota. Started August 1st shipping our milk to them, and just wanted to kind of tell you guys why we did that. I mean, there was multiple reasons why we did that, how it's going, and what it means for us in the future, I guess. So we're in Carrington, North Dakota. If you're not familiar with the channel, with where our farm is, our milk has been going to Fargo, North Dakota, to the Cascade Creamery there. It's a bottling plant. We've been shipping milk there every day for the past 15 years. Been a good relationship overall. Really never had any major issues, but we want to look out for the future of our farm, and then I'll kind of explain to you guys how this all came about. So we were with a co-op called AMPI. They owned that Cascade plant in Fargo when we moved here in 2008, when we started milking cows here in 2009. I just recently purchased that plant, but their main business really is making cheese, and they make some dry powder and some butter also, but cheese is mainly what they make as a co-op, one of the biggest cheese producers in the country actually. In 2012, I think it was, AMPI sold that plant to DFA, another co-op that's a lot more involved in the bottling of fluid milk. That was AMPI's only fluid milk plant. They didn't really have a lot of experience with fluid milk. Didn't really fit in their business. So they sold that plant to DFA in 2012, but had put together a 10-year contract to deliver milk to that plant. So we continued to be AMPI members from that point on, and continued to have a secure market for our milk. Because AMPI, so the contract essentially was that AMPI had first rights to deliver milk to that plant in Fargo. I think there are some DFA farms in the area, but really not many. But it made sense for both parties at that time because DFA has a lot more experience with bottling milk. They've got the infrastructure, they've got the capabilities of moving, transporting milk, the packaging, all that. They've got figured out, and AMPI had the milk in the area to supply that plant. So in 2022, then in theory, if I've got my dates right, that contract ended, and AMPI and DFA were not able to come to a new agreement or a new contract. So things changed a little at that time, and part of the reason was it was in the middle of COVID. So there was some challenges already in the dairy sector and the fluid milk, especially. There was a lot of issues because schools were closing. They were not able to bottle as much milk, but there was still a lot of milk out there. So it just caused some challenges. I think just bad timing is probably part of it, but there more than likely were other things that behind the scenes that we don't even know about that they didn't agree on. They were not able to come to an agreement either way to continue a contract. But we did continue to deliver milk to Fargo, but it was just on essentially a day-by-day basis from that point on until just recently here when we made the change. So really for us, that didn't give us a lot of security because we were AMPI members, but at that point our closest plant, AMPI plant, would have been, well, there was one in South Dakota, but that actually closed here about a year ago. The next closest one is in Minnesota in Paynesville, which I don't know exactly how far that is from us, but it's probably 5-ish hours or so, 4 or 5 hours probably. So that was really not ideal. So at that point we really started to contact DFA to see if there was a possibility of us to become members of DFA. I mean, we had been shipping milk to a DFA plant for a long time, shipping milk to that cast clay plant for a long time. They knew that we had good quality milk. They knew that we had consistent loads of milk to deliver to the plant. Tried to contact them several times over, I mean, since that happened, over the next year and a half, 2 years, and really could not get anywhere with DFA. We were not even able to get a meeting with anybody to seriously talk about this, or to even get a straight no answer that they were not interested in us becoming members. So it really started to become clear to us that we had to look elsewhere. And while this was all going on, I had also contacted Bongards. They had been on our farm years ago to try to get us to become members of Bongards, and at that time we decided to stick with AMPI. I contacted them, probably would have been, I don't know, early 2023, maybe spring 2023, don't remember exactly, but there wasn't room for us at the time, but they were definitely interested and would keep us in mind if something came up. And then probably would have been that summer, so summer 2023, and obviously they probably couldn't share this with me, but they had announced that they were doing a major plant expansion in Perham. They were adding a significant volume of pounds capacity to their milk plant. I had to look this up quick so I would get it right. So they're doing an expansion that will increase their capacity by 30% and will increase their plant capacity to 5.5 million pounds of milk a day. So that's a pretty significant amount of milk that they have coming into that plant, that they already had coming into that plant, and now will be increased pretty significantly. So of course, as soon as I saw that, I decided to give them a call, see if they'd be interested in having the conversation, and I don't know, a month or two later, a few people from Bongards came out, the CEO, the milk procurement person, and also the person that is now our field rep. They came out, visited with us. Don't remember where I left off there exactly, just had a phone call, but essentially, I was talking about the meeting with Bongards. To me, it made it pretty clear pretty quickly that this was the route to go for us. I mean, they were excited about us becoming members. They wanted us as members. It was quite a difference from the experience we had with DFA, and that's nothing against DFA or the cast clay plant. They have to look out for their own members, and likely they had other plans for Fargo already. I mean, there's a good reason why they didn't want us as members, and don't need to get into that. I don't have hard feelings about that. Obviously, a little bit disappointed that delivering milk to them for 15 years that we couldn't even get a face-to-face meeting or even a phone call, but that's behind us now. I'm not too worried about that. I'm usually pretty good at letting things go. It was disappointing, but at the same time, I think it opened the door for us to make this decision and this switch to Bongards, and I think going forward, it's the right move for us. They're a growing co-op. They're making investments into their plant. They're seem like they're very well run. They've got very good business going. So they're primarily making cheese. They do have some retail cheese in stores in Minnesota. I'm not sure. I have to check on this to see if they have any retail cheese in stores in North Dakota. I'm not positive on that. But they do a lot of larger accounts, or like food service accounts, like Burger King. I don't know everywhere where they sell cheese, but they make a lot of cheese. Slices, shredded cheese, blocks of cheese. That'll be something that, I mean, it might be interesting. They had mentioned when we had met with them that we could possibly do some kind of a plant tour at some point, and if you guys are interested in that, put that in the comments, because I'm myself interested in seeing that plant. So just the way things shook out, we were going to become Bongards members not until the spring of 2025, when this plant expansion will be done. But 2 milk plants closed, one in western North Dakota, one in western South Dakota, and that kind of changed things around. I think part of the reason why we weren't able to get anywhere with DFA, so they're now moving some of their milk from out west into that Fargo plant. So those things kind of all came together, and that was going to start September 1st, and we wanted to be proactive, talk with Bongards about it, about the situation we were in, and they were looking for a little bit of milk, so it kind of worked out. So we were able to start shipping milk to Bongards here August 1st. I've been shipping milk there for now, today 12 days, but when you guys see this video, it'll be a few more. So far so good. Obviously a little bit extra trucking, but it's really about the future of our farm and having something here for my kids to be a part of in the future. And I felt, and we felt as a family, that this was a way to be able to continue farming here in North Dakota, because obviously you can't milk cows if you don't have a market to take your milk to. Not going to get into milk price specifics, but that was also part of the reason of making the change. I think Bongards has been very well paying from what they have shown me over the past several years. And that gave me some comfort in knowing that we're paying extra for trucking, but in theory, we should have a higher return, even though we've got the extra trucking for our milk. I'll talk maybe more about that here at some point in the future. It really would be nice if we could get in and do a plant tour and show you guys how that plant is run, what it looks like. Maybe after the expansion, that would be something that's possible. I'll have to talk to Bongards about that, see what we could do there. Also wanted to talk about an opportunity that was presented to me for the YouTube channel. I had Supreme reach out to me to see if I'd have any interest in doing something together with them as far as sponsorship or partnering on the videos. So we worked out a little deal, I guess. So you'll see the Supreme logo on some of the videos. Nothing really is going to change as far as the content I'm filming. Still going to see the occasional feeding video. They're not going to be all feeding videos with the mixer on it, but might potentially have an opportunity to get a chance to visit with some people from Supreme that are specialists on making a good ration, making sure the ration is mixed correctly. So there might be some opportunities like that in the future where we maybe do a shaker box to see how the mixer's performing as far as sizing the feed, mixing the feed, seeing the consistency. That's something that Supreme is really big on, and something that we definitely see on our farm. Our mixer does a really good job at sizing. We feed a lot of baleage. Baleage is really hard on feed wagons, and 100% or just about 100%. There's some knives in the balers, but the majority of the sizing of that baleage is done with our feed wagon. and does a really nice job of making a consistent mix. Just drop the mix here for these high production first, second lactation cows. They get top dressed in the afternoon, and might potentially also have the opportunity to go to Wetaskiwin and take a look at their factory, see how they're building these mixers, but that's something for down the road. But yeah, something exciting for me. First partnership, I guess, on the videos, to do some type of little bit of advertising, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, nothing should change as far as the content on the videos. You're just gonna see their logo a little more often, maybe. And yeah, the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys was the expansion at the creamery, and I do have to go there in a little bit to help my sister. She's coming to load A2 milk right now out of our tank here, and Casey's delivering at the moment, so she asked if I could come over to back the tank into their unloading bay. So I'm gonna go help her get loaded and then head over there. We need to move some concrete too. They had cut out some concrete into large slabs, and we're taking those slabs to the dairy and using them here so we don't waste that nicely cut concrete. Then I'll show you guys quickly about the expansion, but I might just not go into too much detail and wait until Casey's back and do that in another video to really explain what they've got going on over there at the creamery here now. I want to show you guys quickly what they've got going on here. So just around the corner there, that's the front. Processing is over here. Behind that door is their current unloading. Storage behind that door. This is an addition, it's going to be storage. This room I'm standing in here now, this is going to be the new unloading room, and also be storage in here more than likely. I believe the plan is to have milk bottling now moved to this room. Bottle washing is going to be in that room. And then on the other side of the building, they're also adding, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's covered seating. Not sure if that's going to be heated in part of the building or if it's only for summertime. We'll have to get that information from March or Casey here sometime. And then on this side here, this is yet to be completed, but right here there's going to be I believe walk-in freezer and fridge, and they're going to put a door where one of those windows is. They'll have access from the processing room into those freezers and fridges. I believe mainly for gelato storage, but probably also for cheddar cheese curds, I would imagine. Milk, drinkable yogurt, and then there's going to be some offices on the far side of that. So there was a vent, some air conditioning units, refrigeration units that have to be moved. They're going to be coming on the outside of the building here. That's going to be completed here, or they're going to start working on this here as soon as possible, because they can currently not use or do any cooking in the kitchen because the vent, the hood system has been removed now. That needs to be moved to the outside of the building, and the ductwork need to be rerouted and stuff. So I think the plan is for the concrete guy to come in, get that done, get the floor done here as quickly as possible, and then they're gonna probably frame that up right away. Show you guys what the other side looks like here quickly. So this is the front. Right now they have outside seating right here. I believe that's also going to be outside seating right here up to a certain point, because I'm assuming they're going to have some storage over there because the generator sits there. We're likely not going to be sitting people next to the generator, but not positive on that either. We'll have to get that information. This is coming along pretty quickly. Most of this was not here about 2-3 weeks ago, so they're making some progress out here. Gonna head back to the dairy. We just loaded up these concrete slabs, me and Sam. We've got some use for these at the dairy. We've got a lot of these. This concrete was poured just a few years ago, so we didn't want it to go to waste. We cut it into squares, and we'll lay them down somewhere at the dairy. So I'm gonna head back, get these unloaded. If you guys have questions, comments, post them down below. Appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.